Hey, Detroit, it's your girl Tina with Spectacle Society. And I am here today with Laura Scales of Living Arts. And we're so excited, Laura, to have you. I can't wait to tell everybody more about your organization.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us. I can't believe we made it into the big three.
Yes, so exciting. As you know, all of the top three come from suggestions that come from our community. So that means your organization was suggested to us, and people were like, "Oh, you have to look at Living Arts. You have to consider them." So it's so exciting to like be chosen by the community, and now you get the opportunity to share this information. So I am going to ask you to tell us a little bit more about Living Arts and what you guys do.
Sure. So, Living Arts is a amazing organization. We do low to no cost arts education and arts experiences for children as young as 3 months with their caregivers, all the way through 18. And we do performing arts and visual arts and media arts. And it's just this really amazing way to get students really interested and immersed in the arts and find their passion and their voice and their creativity.
I love that. My background, how I got into optics was through photography and learning to express myself and using that medium as a form of expression and just fell in love with optics. So all things art have like a very close place in my heart, especially when you get to encourage it from a young age,
Yes.
for kids to really embrace that creativity.
It's so true. And you can just see that ignition of passion and just like, haha, I got it. And this whole brand new way of expressing themselves. It's like they're off and running.
Oh my God, it's so transformative, right? And a lot of times art becomes this way to express when kids don't have the words or they're unable to share in certain ways. In some environments, they don't necessarily feel safe sharing, but this is a way to get what they need to say out, right? It's so important. So tell me, how does Living Arts impact the life of Detroiters?
Sure. So we are based out of Southwest Detroit, and we started in 1999 as Southwest Dance. And then we kind of started doing more than dance. And so it had this beautiful organic growth into living arts that we know today. And so we have most of our programming out of the FREC, the Forward Resource and Engagement Center. And then we do programming throughout the cities, in schools, after school, out of school, workshops. But we all come back to that beautiful moment at the FREC where we consider, Southwest our home, and the impact has been wonderful. We have been able to work with students, and we know that having the arts in their lives builds empathy. We know it builds compassion. We know it builds a absolutely beautiful way for students to work through a multitude of things, whether it's math, music is great for that, beat making is great for that, or if it's science and color theory and art, and how do we integrate this thing to get students interested in the academics as well as the art, as well as just moving your body feels so great. And you can really see the impact on these students when they find their thing. And we have this beautiful portfolio of about 100 different things that they can try, so that they can find like the thing that makes them excited and makes them ignite. And the beauty is that we do that through using professional artists in Detroit. So we have them teach their passion, so they can learn JIT from Mike Manson, and then they can see Mike Manson do a show and they'd be like, oh, Mr. Mike, he's doing it, or they could see Stephanie in the classroom working with them on illustration, and how to draw, and then they can see her gallery opening, and so on and so on and so on, with all these amazing artists who come together. So it's this beautiful moment where they have the ability to find their voice, hone their craft, and also have a mentorship, role model relationship with these artists who are out there and just winning. They're just thriving. So it makes my whole heart happy. I could talk for way too long about it.
Oh my God. I completely understand. I'm like, as you're talking, I'm like, oh yeah, tell me more. Like I'm so excited about all of it.
so real. They do art, especially when the babies get together and they're like art, and you're like,
Oh my
what
God.
is that?
That's amazing. 3 months too. I'm like, wow, how does
Yeah.
that even happen? Like, that's amazing.
Isn't it Detroit Wolf Trap? It's a program that we created from Wolf Trap Central out in DC. And so we get to work with the tiniest little ones, and they have baby arts play. And I mean, like, they tell a story, and then the butterfly comes off the page, and there's ribbons, and, make snow angels, and let's put on our gloves. And our Wolf Trap teaching artists are just like phenomenal. And I'm like riveted. I'm like, what?
I,
Tell me more. Where did the caterpillar go? I like sit in the workshops. I'm happy. Like, this is what I need as an adult.
I just had this moment of, where did the caterpillar go? Wait, I want to know. That's
It
amazing.
disappeared, and then it became a butterfly. And I'm like, yes.
That's so great. I love this. I love how interactive you guys are. I love that you don't limit, like you've got those multiple age ranges. And I love that it's coming to, Detroiters in different areas, within school, after school, in different spaces throughout the city. We're a very large city, right? There are lots of spaces and lots of kids out there. So being able to meet them where they're at, because not everybody's always able to travel, like that's incredible. Yeah. So tell me, like, the last few years have been tough, right? I mean, nobody's going to say the last few years was a cakewalk, right? With the pandemic, and we're still going through it. So tell me a little bit about how that has affected living arts and what you guys have been doing through that.
Um, Absolutely. So I have been at Living Arts just over a year. I was in higher ed, and I had a friend pass me the job description for an executive director, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my whole heart. I have to do this. This is my calling. So I came in the middle of the pandemic, but I have to just tip my hat to the previous executive director, Alyssa. Phenomenal. Her and the entire staff did phenomenal things, because they went, of course, like everyone, from teaching something in person to going online. And these dance instructors teaching dance on Zoom, brilliant. Brilliant. So the whole world changed, and they were able to pivot and turn and come up with these really amazing creative ideas. Living Arts at Home was spurned out of that. So you can still go to our website, which is livingartsdetroit.org, and you can click Living Arts at Home, and you can still get these amazing at home classes and interactions, and it'll tell you what you need. And our program managers were calling everyone and trying to figure out who had internet, who had an iPad, who had, the computer, and telling people how to get on the computer and how to use Zoom. And then, we have a whole different person who's explaining it in Spanish on, okay, great. So now we've got you on Zoom, and we've got you on Zoom, and getting our teachers, and just the chaos of the moment coming in. But what we learned is that our entire community came together in the most supportive, compassionate, understanding way, and made all of the programming happen online. And what we found is that people were at home. And so instead of having one child in the class, we now have 3 children in the class, and the teaching artists being able to expand that age range, because we might have a 2-year-old and we might have an 8-year-old, and they're in the same house and they're all taking the same class. And just the grace and the beauty of thriving in that moment and really holding on to what I think the arts does best, which is survive. One of the things that I told people all the time at the beginning of the pandemic, because I'm coming from a background in theater, and people's shows, of course, were just getting canceled and canceled. And I was like, theater has survived plagues before. We survived wars, we've survived plague, and we're still here. And we come out stronger, and we make beautiful things in that moment. So the pandemic, we've been more in person now. So about a year ago, in October, we made this switch. And we worked with our parent council and our teen council and all of our staff. And we said, okay, we're going to get in person. And then we met for about 3 months with teaching artists and everyone else. We're like, okay, does this make you feel safe? okay, what if we change it to this? Are you safe here? So giving everyone the option where they could do some things online if they weren't comfortable. And we are going to wear masks inside because we're going to do this. We're not going to do as rigorous of a dance program because they're going to be masked, and we want to be mindful of all of that stuff. So we really just had um, a beautiful organic reintroduction to in person. And now with the schools opening back up to contracts, we're just thrilled to come back into the system and kind of get a little bit more here. We don't say that the pandemic is over, because every time we think that, something happens, or monkeypox. So we have been saying at this point in the pandemic, um, we're really excited to give more programming.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, one of the things that you said really rings true for me. It is the idea that the arts survive, right? Anytime there is a crisis or an economic turn down, the arts are the first thing to take a hit, right? Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
money starts to dry up for the arts first.
Mhm.
That is the first place people cut. And yet, as artists, we survive, we continue to go, we continue to thrive, we continue to create things that are meaningful and wonderful, and eventually it all flows back into that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it all comes back, and that's what people did. People were at home and they're watching Netflix. People are home, they're listening to podcasts, they're looking through books, they're taking, walks in nature and taking photos. And I was like, yes, the art is how we survive what's happening around us. So that was my whole goal, is that giving these students, giving this youth of Detroit a way to get it out, to act it out, to write it out, to dance it out, to get it out and help that process and help heal.
Oh my God, that's so amazing. So amazing. I love it. So I want to ask, everybody's going to learn more about living arts through this. I'm so excited for that. And at the end of the month, the community gets an opportunity to vote on where the annual funds will go. And if they select living arts, how is that money going to be used? And what is that going to help you with?
Sure. So the beauty about donating is that you can choose where the money goes. So we have a ton of different projects and process that we fund, and different ways that goes. I think where we will use this money is invest it right back in home, right back in Southwest, into those classes with our our youth, going from the tiniest of littles all the way through, our youth dance ensemble, which is our, upper echelon of dancers, or spot, which is our upper echelon of visual artists. But to take that right back into our programming that's happening in the heart of Southwest, and those teaching artists who are so Detroit in their bones and in their art and in their mentorship. So that's really what we would do, is that we would take this amazing gift and put it right back at home, so we can reach a few more children, so that we can increase, we can get, a better, paintbrush, or, an extra iPad. These students doing animation on their iPads is absolutely amazing, but now we have Apple Pens, and it would be amazing if we could purchase Apple Pens, and then they can draw it there instead of
Oh my
taking
God, that's
pictures of it,
amazing.
animate it, right? Like, it's a game changer. When they're $125, which doesn't seem like much until you need like 14 of them. So
Exactly.
so it would be things like that, where it's, things that not everybody wants. No one thinks about the shoes, the dance shoes. And if you're taking 6 dance classes and you have 3 different shoe requirements for the dance
Yeah.
classes. So
And art
uh,
supplies and all of those things. I
art-
mean, we forget to
exactly.
do this, create, like there's so much funds that kind of have to be used in order to create the art and give the children the experience, right?
Exactly. And we're super scrappy. So like I just watched the most amazing lesson where like our incredible instructor Stephanie took like a piece of cardboard and glued little like cutouts on it, and then had the kids paint it and made stamps. And I was like, this is genius. And she was like, yes, and this also costs 65 cents. And I was like, I obsessed with that. And you know, we love that. But if I could turn around and be like, yes, and here are some pencils so they can animate as they go and they can draw on the digital thing like the professionals are doing.
I love that. Well, and I love that they're getting, you know, this experience from working artists too that are in the city, right? And so they get to see like these are what these people do. And I can do this too, right? Like there's no barrier, right, to being able to create art. And I love that. That's so important because honestly, art supplies can rack up. I mean, I remember going to school and being like, wow, okay, my bills every month for just supplies were like astronomical, right?
Exactly.
So it's amazing to say like, that's not a barrier. You get to come here and do it with us. We're providing this for you. And that's an amazing space to kind of put that money towards. So I'm really excited to hear that. So you guys do so many great things and I'm obsessed. Like I really love all of the different ways that you know, help the kids in the community. And I am sure that people are watching are just like, wow, that's so great. Like if anybody's like me, they're like, oh my God, this is so good. I want to hear more, right? So if that's the case, can you tell me how people can get involved, how they can donate, what they can do to help?
Absolutely. There are so many ways to get involved at Living Arts, and I love it. I am truly in love with the idea that we are a community and anyone at any time can join our community, and there's just moving parts and roles change and people change, and it's great. And we watch the students grow up and then take different roles in the community. So we have I don't even know where but the board. You can always join our board. We're always looking for board members. And we have 4 meetings a year with our board. And then we have every board member joins a committee. So if you're on the board and a committee. And then you can just join a committee. So we are always looking for more interest or help in, you know, marketing, events, development, programming ideas, and we encourage any and all in that. So if someone was like, yes, I am a marketing specialist and I would love to, you know, donate an hour of my time for us to pick your brain, we love it. Or if you're like, I'm a psychologist and I love working with children, you can pick my brain for an hour. We love it. So those are different ways that you can support us. We also have various volunteer opportunities throughout the year. So volunteering with our student showcase, or, you know, getting us ready for our hopefully a little gallery opening this year. I'm trying to make a little gallery opening for the students who do visual arts so that they can, you know, have sparkling cider and cheese and crackers and people can walk around and talk about their art. These are things I dream about. But I think it's an important experience for the students to have as well. So we have volunteers needed in that realm as well. And then of course you can always donate. Even $5 makes a difference. $5 will buy an entire pack of colored paper. Like $5 will buy 6 yards of a sheer fabric, you know, that we use for baby art supply. So, and you can of course donate more than $5. I will never be sad if someone's like, here is $100,000. But, as small as skipping your Starbucks, and donating to us will impact the lives of Detroit's youth.
Oh my God, I love that because that's one of those things that we don't think about, right? Like most people drop a good $5 to $6 on a coffee every single day. And that like skipping that one time can provide so much for a Detroit kid. Like that's incredible, right? And I feel like a lot of times people think like, well, I don't have enough to give. I don't get, you know, like I don't have a ton of money, or I don't have this, or, you know, whatever. I'm not sure that I can volunteer time. And this is a great way, right? You just, even the smallest amount is so appreciated and the kids get so much out of it. So that's really fantastic.
Yeah, I love picking brains. So that's you know, if you taught for 30 years in Detroit, I absolutely want to talk to you because I have questions.
Well, and I love that you guys are open to like, hey, people volunteering their time in whatever specialty that they have. Like that's incredible too. And people, don't think that, maybe they have the whole time to donate to doing an entire event or being on a committee or being on a board, but they can volunteer an hour of their time to help in any way that you need based off of what they do, right? So that's pretty incredible. So where can they find the donation? Let's talk about like your website and all of
Sure.
that.
Absolutely. So right now you can always go to livingartsdetroit.org, all one. And you can find us there. You can find us on Facebook at Living Arts. You can find us on Instagram at Living Arts Detroit. And that is probably the best way to contact us. You can always call or send an email if you like. We are definitely gearing up for the school year. We like to get the teachers settled and the students settled and then come in October to start our programming. But we definitely are getting ramped up and such. So you can donate through our website. We're currently running a campaign called Heart for the Arts, which ends in 13 days. But we take donations all year round, and you can specify what that donation is or not. You can add us on Amazon for if you do this Amazon Smile. You can have Living Arts benefit from your Amazon purchases. And that's great. We see like, anywhere from like $14 to $25 a month. And it's like, that's awesome. Prime Day happened and I was like, wow, look at this $60. Fancy. But there's a ton of different ways that you can donate and get involved.
Oh my God, I love that. Well, at Detroit, there are so many ways. You just heard it, right? There are a million ways to get involved and to help Living Arts if you were so inspired to do so. So definitely get on your social media, get on the website, get in touch with them. They are happy to accept anything that you have to give. These kids will benefit from. Well, Laura, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate taking the time so that everybody could learn more. This has been amazing. I really appreciate all of your enthusiasm and passion for what you do.
Thank you so much for having us. We definitely had a squeal where it was like, we're in the top 3 and this is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Plus, we found out that like 90% of our staff wears glasses. Things we didn't think about. We're like,
well, we're here to help when they're ready.
Down the street.
Perfect. Well, Detroit, that's it for today. Definitely stay posted to our social media sites because we will be sharing little facts and bits about all the things that Living Arts does throughout the week, and you'll learn more about them. And follow them. Definitely take a moment to follow them on their social media, please. Like they do amazing things and you'll learn more about what they do every single day. And then at the end of the month, you'll have the opportunity to vote and make your voice heard. All right. Have a great day, Detroit.